Hello students, welcome to Science and Tech series with Dr. Vivek Rana. Hope all of you are doing well. Topic for today's discussion is one of the most important themes for upcoming prelims and mains. We'll be decoding significance of Chandrayaan 3 mission. So we all know ISRO has achieved remarkable success in launching Chandrayaan 3, India's lunar lander probe to explore lunar surface successfully from Sriharikota. So let's just try to understand why this milestone is being celebrated as a front page news in all leading newspaper. Why Chandrayaan 3 is important for Indian success story in long run, as well as what could be the immediate or short term achievements from that can be expected from this landmark mission, because we have seen that moon is not new to exploration. It all started with space race between Soviet Union and USA, which was initially won by USSR by sending Luna 9 mission after 6 failed attempts. But eventually in 1966, it was the first orbiter launch which was able to successfully monitor lunar surface. But the main impact in the lunar history is from NASA. In 1969, we all know Apollo 11 mission was the first ever manned mission to moon, and we all know the success story of Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin. And Neil Armstrong became the first man to literally step on lunar surface. One small step and a giant leap to mankind. So these all such milestones were achieved long way back in 1960s. So now in 2023, when we are sending our mission, how our mission is going to contribute to the space history. Now in the background, if we see, there are 111 missions which have been tried to send to, you could say, lunar exploration, including the orbiter, lander, as well as the manned missions. Out of these, only 61 have been claimed to be successful, and another 8 are touted as partial success, and almost 40 plus missions have failed. So basically it's you can say on roughly on basis there is only a 50% probability of achieving success when any country on random is trying to explore Mars mission. But in today's lecture, we will focus mainly on India's journey. So we know that Chandrayaan 1 was one of the biggest success stories because it gave world confirmation of water molecules on lunar surface. No other mission before Chandrayaan 1 was able to confirm, because detection is another thing, but confirmation is something else. And in Chandrayaan 2, we can claim a partial success because the lander and rover couldn't soft land on lunar surface, but orbiter managed to give the clear pictures of lunar surface, and it has 8 payloads, and they continue to send valuable inputs and data to our scientists at ISRO, and it has already had some remarkable run. So now in Chandrayaan 3, the stakes are little higher and expectations are even more, because after rising from, you could say, that failure of the hard landing at lunar surface, India will now attempt to just rectify that mistake and achieve the success. So at this point of time, we can say the launch has been successful, but we will have to be little more patient for another 40 days to get this done. So from UPSC prelims point of view, I'll be highlighting some important facts which could be framed in any of your state or UPSC examination. So let's start from the basics. First and foremost, whenever any space mission is being launched, you have to first just jot down the launch site. So if you are a veteran or you have been following ISRO's remarkable journey to success, this should not come as a surprise. It is Satish Dhawan Space Center, you could say the Sriharikota high altitude range, which is in Andhra Pradesh. So basically this is not a new fact for majority of you. So this Chandrayaan 3, it has also been launched from same site. Now coming to the launch vehicle, the rocket system which has carried India's high aspirations have been named as LVM M3M4 mission. So basically this LVM, because no newspapers are carrying the exact detail what exactly is LVM3, because they are taking it granted that you might have covered already in some other space effect. So for beginners, I would like to elaborate. It stands for Launch Vehicle Mark 3, and this M4 is representing the mission 4. Basically, India conventionally had the PSLV and GSLV launch vehicles. PSLV were mainly used to send polar satellites in for remote sensing in low Earth orbit, whereas GSLV were mainly designed to cater to send heavier communication satellites in geostationary or synchronous orbit. So now currently that bifurcations are broken. At times we have to carry multiple remote sensing satellites. At times GSLV is even used for manned mission, like we are planning to send important Gaganyaan 3 mission as well. So currently the terminologies have revised. Otherwise in Chandrayaan 2 also we had used GSLV Mark 3. This time also it's the same launch vehicle which has the Mark 3 version, because it can theoretically carry almost 5 tons of payload. So current combination, when we cover the payload, roughly touches almost 4 tons, because there is a lander, rover and rocket propulsion system module which is being carried. Make sure you are clear about the basics of a launch vehicle Mark 3 variants fuel stages. There is initially a solid stage for initial thrust, then there is a liquid stage, and finally the most important stage is the cryogenic technology, which India is trying to master over the years. And with this launch, we can finally put up all those apprehensions to rest, that yes, India is now doing has got fair bit of success in terms of GSLV technology. Now coming to the main components, in Chandrayaan 1 we just had orbiter. In Chandrayaan 2 we tried for a lander rover orbiter combination. This time we are just clear in our objectives. We are not sending any orbiter. Our mainly 2 major themes which world is watching are the lander as well as the rover. Now lander has been named Vikram as a tribute to our great scientist Vikram Sarabhai, who pioneered Indian space program. He was the first chairman of ISRO, and under his chairmanship, India took giant strides and as a developing country and leaving a footprint all around. So it would be an ideal tribute which we also tried to give in Chandrayaan 2, but unfortunately couldn't be achieved in that mission. But hopefully this time we will beat the odds. Now the rover, which is the main component, it's a robotic module. It's a 6-wheeled version which will explore lunar surface in South Pole. It is going to cater to the main needs. Has been named Pragyaan. So make sure you are clear about these terminologies, because examiner might twist Vikram and Pragyaan in terms of you could say components. And the rocket propulsion system we had already discussed. So basically you have to focus in components to rover and lander, because roughly this module is almost 1800 kgs itself. So that makes it quite difficult for a PSLV to carry to such a long distance. Now coming to the distance part, now from Earth to you could say moon, it's roughly 3,84,000 kilometers. So this is going to be a long, arduous journey, but still it's nothing as compared to Mangalyaan. We have seen ISRO had successfully demonstrated its technical progress by you could say navigating almost 670 million kilometers as well. So hopefully this is not a hurdle, because so many countries have already been through it. Now the journey time for the current Chandrayaan 3 mission while traversing such distance is going to be 42 days. So basically the mission has just been launched. It has been successfully placed to the, you could say, roughly 36,500 kilometers. In the next step, there will be geotransfer orbit, and then eventually it will traverse the path, and it will take multiple rounds before finally landing into the moon. So this is where you can say the journey time comes into the picture. So it will take 42 days. So for us, the main date to be watched is August 23. On August 23, if it lands successfully at lunar surface, then this mission is going to be remembered for long time, because this is going to be first major step if we want to achieve the larger goals, which will be just coming in just a moment of time. Now the mission life might surprise you, because we are used to space missions being active for almost multiple years. In Mars case, we have also seen it almost function beyond its life. And even currently the Chandrayaan 2 orbiter has been functioning. It was launched way back in 2019, but it continues to send data. But in this case, the time frame for which this mission is going to be operative is quite short. It is going to be just one lunar day. Now, a geography examiner might ask, what does one lunar day is equivalent to on Earth? So it roughly translates to 14 Earth days on Earth. The problem is in South Pole, there is no sunlight, and moreover, this is a difficult terrain. So whatever we have to achieve in terms of gathering the scientific data, it practically has to be done in those 14 Earth days. And the team is quite confident if it lands successfully, that will be more than enough to explore the new terrain, because South Pole of Moon being a difficult terrain has yet not been explored as of now. So make sure you are clear about the one lunar day or 14 Earth day concept when it comes to the duration. Now, coming to the cost of the project, it might sound a little too high to some of you, but if you have following space mission, this is one of the, once again, a low economical cost mission. It will cost Indian public exchequer almost 600 crores. And if we look at the journey, this is once again not a too high cost. We send our landmark Mangalyaan at just 450 crores as well. So if you compare to the developed countries, this is, you could say, almost 1/10, or you could say 1/15 of the cost if being used. And we have seen even recently a movie called Adi Purush being made at a budget of 700 crores, and it just couldn't do much justice. But here our ISRO team has spending its budget economically and in the right domains. So cost is once again going to be advantage to ISRO's journey. Now let's come to the objectives. As we have started the lecture, we said that already there have been missions to moon, multiple, almost we have 40 plus missions which have been invested to explore moon, and there are no signs of life. So even when asked to ISRO's chairman that are we expecting to detect life on South Pole, he was very clear that no, we are not anticipating or going this mission to detect any life on moon. But still, exploring moon is important, because if we want to understand evolution of our solar system, and because this moon South Pole was formed quite early and it's not been too explored as of now, there could be, and we could unravel some secrets about moon's journey, how it has been evolved, and various mysteries associated with its formation. But to be straightforward, if you have to quote in examination, you have to focus on some basic premises, because this lander and rover are carrying almost 6 major, you could say, payloads, instruments which are likely to explore to the objective criteria. The first major objective is to detect the earthquakes on lunar surface, their frequency and their intensity. So you could use the word you could say the moonquakes. So they are going to detect the moonquakes. So seismic studies are going to be conducted by the lander and rover. Apart from that, they will try to determine once again the atmospheric composition of lunar surface. And then we have the surface studies, because we have seen at times we detect some precious elements or minerals which at longer stage might be used to even mine when the technologies allow. And India is already signatory to Artemis record. So basically, this should not come as a surprise that the larger objectives are to explore the lunar surface qualitatively once again, because the foundation has already been laid by so many missions. But Chandrayaan 3 will try to take legacy forward by giving some new insights about the mineralogy, topography, as well as the craters. Coming to the main part, that why this mission is significant, because on global map we have today almost 200 countries, but only handful of them have, you could say, the will to explore the next level of lunar, or you could say, space journeys, and they have taken the risk despite odds being against them. So to put them in select league of nations which have tried to take understanding of human journey to the next level. And currently this landing part on moon is, you could say, is domain of just 3 countries. Only USSR, NASA, you can say USA, and China's Chang E chain, because we have seen China is already one step ahead in this milestone. Chang 3 successfully landed on lunar surface, and currently the Chang journey is being planned up to Chang 5, Chang 8. So India has to meet its counterparts and catch with them. So currently, if this mission on August 23, India manages to successfully land on lunar surface, we will become the fourth nation to achieve this milestone. So this is going to make India stand out in League of Nations. So that could be the first major landmark significance. Second, it could just help in further enriching our understanding of lunar surface, because more detailed inputs are likely to be expected. This time the payloads are majority from India, and we have designed each and specific payload for the above mentioned objective. So we could have more accurate analysis this time if all goes well. Moreover, if we look at the larger picture of the thing, it has set the tone for Gaganyaan 3 mission. We have tested our, you could say, the fat gun Bahubali LBM M3, and it has once again delivered as per the expectations. Now, in longer quest, there are countries which are trying to explore, you could say, the outer space as a space tourism opportunities. So basically, such mission, even though might at times appear that what we are likely to gain as a commoner, but it sets the tone for future space tourist endeavors as well. And there are a lot of quests of colonizing the lunar surface as well, because we are now almost at the saturation point of being space station. The next permanent space stations are likely to be created on lunar surface. So India, being an early starter along with the select group of countries which have already have a lunar exploratory missions, this could set a tone for a permanent station, and some valuable insights which will be obtained through this mission can be used by other scientific teams to make it more successful endeavor. So we can say that this mission is not going to be one-off event. It is just a one-step mission in which we are gaining our practical expertise in an uncharted territory, and it could properly set a tone for a future manned mission by India as well, because currently Japan, JAXA Space Agency and India are collaborating for another Chandrayaan mission in future. So basically this will set the tone for it. So we can say we have lot at stakes at the major level if this mission is concerned, and hopefully we will achieve all major objectives which has been set by the ISRO team. So we would like to congratulate first of all to all ISRO scientists who have worked really hard to make this mission successful, and hopefully in the quest to explore another feather in India Space Odyssey is going to be a successful one this time. Now, another major significance you can understand is by comparing Chandrayaan 1, 2 and 3, and this could also be a probable question which can be asked, at how is Chandrayaan 1 different from 2 or the current Chandrayaan 3 mission. So first, in terms of launch vehicle, Chandrayaan 1 was launched by polar satellite launch vehicle, because we had a shortcoming. We didn't have the adequate cryogenic technology at that time, and moreover this was just an orbiter mission, so it didn't require a heavy launch vehicle. In Chandrayaan 2, we used GSLV Mark 3. You could say the launch vehicle, and it was able to carry the lander and rover into the orbit, and eventually it couldn't just the landing could not be achieved for unforeseen circumstances. Now in current 3, the same GSLV Mark 3 has been renamed LVM-3M4, which we have just discussed. So basically the launch vehicles are different. Then coming to the main components, in Chandrayaan 1 there was moon impact probe and orbiter. These were the two major entrants, and we see moon impact probe landed on Shackleton crater, and it confirmed the presence of water. Where in case of Chandrayaan 2, we had seen there was a lander, rover and orbiter, out of which orbiter is still functioning. Lander rover eventually crashed at the South Pole. Now in the current segment in Chandrayaan 3, we have only a lander and rover, Vikram and Pragyan. Coming to the cost, roughly the Chandrayaan 1 was 386 crores, Chandrayaan 2 almost reached 1000 crore, 978 crore to be precise, whereas Chandrayaan 3 is at more humble budget of 600 crores. And coming to the payloads part, initially Chandrayaan 1 had 11 specific payloads, out of which majority were of foreign origin, only 5 were Indian. But we rectified it in Chandrayaan 2 with there 13 payloads and all were Indian, and this time we have 6 major payloads qualitatively which are going to be insightful, all indigenous. So basically, this theme is highlighting the indigenization of technology, which is a critical component of UPSC syllabus as well. When you go through syllabus, there is a line written indigenization of technology. So by demonstrating such capabilities, India is setting its footprint on uncharted territories and clearly highlighting that any technology whichsoever may be denied or may not be easily available, India is fully capable of achieving them. And another comparison could be on terms of achievements. For Chandrayaan, we could just summarize by saying that India became the fourth country to successfully launch its lunar mission. But the main achievement which world is acknowledging is confirmation of water. It also discovered large caves on lunar surface, which could act as potential settlements in long run, and also it detected calcium and titanium as well. Chandrayaan 2 is still underway, but so far the main achievements which have been attributed to it are it detected sodium, chromium, nickel, and it's the first ever mission to prepare a detailed, you could say, the sodium lunar map. Apart from that, it has enhanced our practical knowledge about the distribution of craters on lunar surface, and also it has given some insights about the lunar magmical activity. So basically, the Chandrayaan 2 is also has contributed in enriching. There have been so many research papers which have benefited from its specific details gathered through orbiter. So in Chandrayaan 3, the mission is straightforward. We want to enter the south pole of the lunar surface, because majority of the missions so far have been on the equatorial plane, either north or south of equator of lunar surface. So this is an uncharted territory, and since this part could have large volumes of water as well, so basically we are trying to once again confirm the exact volumes or some new insights on their rocky or geological studies. So this is how you can compare Chandrayaan 1, 2 and 3, and in all three we have not collaborated with any countries. Only we are carrying passive payloads from NASA like in 2 and 3, and there is no active collaboration. But hopefully in near future, we have just signed Artemis record with US, which has been celebrated for as a next level of ISRO NASA cooperation, and hopefully they will use lunar for another peaceful collaboration which will further enrich our knowledge about our space solar system. So I hope the main themes and the facts about the important milestone of Chandrayaan 3 are now absolutely clear in your minds. If still something is troubling you or you are not able to watch through this lecture, you are most welcome to ask them in comment section. We will try to get back at genuine queries. So let's be proud of our ISRO team and celebrate this milestone as a patriotic Indian, because this is a once in a generation event, and we are now testimony to a history being made by Indian scientists. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.